Well, we're going to begin standing this morning, please. So just find a nice place where you can just kind of relax. So we're going to lift those toes, take our feet about hip width apart, press them back down, roll the shoulders up, and relax them back and down. We can turn our palms to face forward. And keeping our knees soft, we're going to feel our legs strong and active. And if we like, we can take a few moments here to close our eyes, but we don't have to. And we're just going to bring our awareness to our breath. So letting the worries and expectations of the day just fade to the background. And invite that breath maybe to be a little slower, maybe to reach a little deeper. And we're just going to invite our breath to guide our movement this morning. So first, becoming aware of just how the breath moves in the body as we're being still here. How our rib cages expand and the chest gently rises as we inhale. And now everything kind of releases and softens as we exhale. And thinking about that breath as like a wave that just kind of washes over us, bringing in energy and gratitude. And as we exhale, it's just going to release, again, expectation. Release tension in the body, in the mind, and the spirit. So we're inviting our breath here to connect our physical self with our spiritual, emotional self. And we can set an intention for our practice today if we wish. Maybe it's just to be here together. To move our bodies, to let go of stress. And if our eyes are closed, we can allow them to open, keeping the gaze soft. And we're going to begin to connect our breath with our movement. So as we inhale, sweep the arms out and up overhead. And as we exhale, we'll just allow the arms to gently float down next to the sides. And we'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling. And exhaling. Nice job. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Next inhale, we're just going to reach our right arm up overhead. And we'll take a nice side stretch to the left. So maybe turning our palm to the left here. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, the right hand floats down. And then the left hand raises as we inhale. And we're going to exhale, find that nice side body stretch. So we're reaching from the left foot through the fingertips. Next inhale, we'll come back up. And exhale again. The arm can float back down next to our sides. One more, both arms. Inhale, reaching up nice and high. And this time as we exhale, we'll soften the knees and just release into a forward fold. So we could start by taking our hands to our shins or allow them just to come down as close to the mat as feels good. Remember, we don't have to touch our toes. It's not a competition. We're just here to open up through the hamstrings and the low back to create some space. Soften the knees and take the hands to the shins. Next inhale, we'll come back to that half lift. So we're going to press the hands into the shins into the hands, and just kind of pause here. Drawing the shoulders together, back and down, and lengthening the back side of the neck. So almost a gentle tuck of the chin. And then from here, we're going to come all the way to standing. Again, take the arms out and all the way up overhead. And again, we'll exhale to our forward fold. So big swan dive, really expansive. Release the hands down just as far as they will go. And inhale again, take the hands to the shins, half lift. Pause here for a moment so we can kind of feel the length in the spine. As we activate our abdominals, we can feel that low back lengthen and release. And exhale, we'll come back to that fold. Last time here, inhale, sweep the arms out and all the way up to standing. And exhale, back to our forward fold, releasing the hands down just as far as they'd like to go. Inhale, hands to the shins and half lift. Pausing here. Exhale, we'll release back to our fold. This time we're going to walk ourselves out to our downward facing dog. So spreading the fingertips nice and wide. Just moving the hands forward or the feet back. However we'd like to get there. And we're going to just pause here for a moment. So spreading the fingers to take the pressure off the wrists. Release the heels down toward the mat. Lift the belly up toward the ceiling. And from here, we're going to go ahead and inhale, come into our plank or kneeling plank. As we exhale, we'll carefully lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. So squeezing the elbows in close to the side body, release the hips down and then the low ribs. And as we inhale, we'll peel the chest up off the mat. Lift the knees, press in through the tops of the feet. As we exhale, we'll push up and back to child's pose. So just reaching the sits bones down toward the heels, fingers spread nice and wide once again. And we're just going to kind of round the whole back. So nice spinal flexion, just creating space here with the breath. Next inhale, we'll gently move back onto all fours. And as we exhale, curl the toes under. Once again, we'll find our downward facing dog. Inhale, we'll lift to both tippy toes. Soften the knees, and we're just going to kind of crouch the hips back. And then from here, we're going to shift back into our plank, or we can drop our knees, shift forward into our kneeling plank once again. Exhale, bend the elbows, carefully release the hips and then the low ribs to the mat, and lift the heart once again, low cobra pose. Here we're just going to pause, lift the belly button, and engaging and feeling strength in the whole back side of the body, maybe lift the hands. As we exhale, again, we'll release the hands, press up and back to child's pose. So we're going to move through some sun salutations just to create some heat and space in the body. Inhale, come up to all fours. Curl the toes under. Exhale, shift the hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to our tippy toes, soft knees, crouch back, look between the hands. And we'll gently walk the feet forward, feet meet the hands here in our forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, soft knees, sweep the arms out, come all the way to standing. Palms touch, and we'll reverse that. Exhale, back to that forward fold. Inhale, take the hands to the shins and lengthen. Exhale, take the hands to the mat, even if we need to bend our knees, and we'll release back to our downward facing dog. So just stepping our feet back, or we can come down through that table. Next, inhale, we'll just shift forward into our plank or kneeling plank. And exhale, carefully lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Inhale to low cobra pose, lift the chest. Exhale, push up and back to downward facing dog. Curling the toes under, sending the hips high. Inhale, come to those tippy toes, soft knees, look between the hands. Step the feet forward once again, forward fold. We're going to inhale to our half lift. So every time we move through this, we get a little more length, a little more release. Exhale, relax to forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, lift the heart, lift the fingertips all the way to the ceiling. And exhale, back forward fold. Big swan dive. Beautiful. Inhale, take the hands to the shins, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, even if we need to bend the knees, and we'll make our way down or back to downward facing dog. Last time here, inhale, plank or kneeling plank, shoulders over the hands. Exhale, squeezing the elbows into the sides, release yourself all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, low cobra pose. Exhale, push up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your tippy toes, soften the knees, look between the hands. Exhale, step the feet forward to our forward fold. Inhale, take the hands to the shins and half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms out and all the way up. Palms touch, and this time we'll just draw them to our heart center. From here, we're going to step back into our warrior one. So starting with the right foot, we're going to step the right foot back, turn the toes out just a little bit, and press the pinky toe side of the foot into the mat. Here, our heels are still hip-width apart, and we're going to turn our shoulders square to the front of the mat. So we get a nice stretch in that hip flexor, keeping the bend in the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides and all the way up overhead. Bring the palms to touch. Warrior one. So we're going to draw the shoulders down away from the ears. And then we're going to go ahead, release the hands down just to shoulder height. Turn the palms to face down. As we inhale, we'll turn the palms to face up. Extend the left leg, reaching really high. And exhale, we'll bend the left knee, coming back to warrior one. Arms extend out to the side. And we'll do this a few times. So inhale, reach up, extend the leg. Exhale, release the hands down to shoulder height, bend the knee. Last one like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. We'll inhale once again, and this time we're going to keep the left leg extended. As we exhale, we can take our hands to our hips, and we're just going to begin to hinge forward. So keeping a little bit of softness in the left knee, we're going to take that big stretch in our left hamstring. If we like, we could release our hands to our shins. We can keep our hands on our hips, or we could take our hands down to the mat. This is our intense side stretch. And we're just going to kind of pause here for a moment. Let the head be heavy. So our gaze is back at our right foot. And we're going to keep that right leg active, left leg active. Think about squeezing those inner thighs toward each other. So we're kind of hugging in. And then our next inhale, we're going to again soften the left knee. So bring the left knee back over the ankle and inhale back to warrior one. From here, we're going to open up a little bit more into warrior two. So coming to the ball of the right foot, we're just going to lift the heel and turn the feet so now they're perpendicular. Adjusting the stance as necessary, keeping the bend in the left knee. Good. And last time we practiced our peaceful warrior, we'll do that again. We're going to inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Take the right hand underneath, the left hand overhead, and we'll switch sides. Inhaling, drawing the arms under and over, and exhaling. Just moving with your breath, kind of feeling like I really like the idea of like a coral or some seaweed moving in the waves. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Keep the bend in the left knee. We'll be here one more time. Inhale and exhale. Lovely job. Next inhale, we'll come back to warrior two. Relax the shoulders down. From here, we're going to come into our reverse triangle. So lift the left fingertips toward the ceiling, extend the left leg, turn the gaze up toward the left palm. Big breath into the front and left side. One more like that. Inhale, maybe reaching a little bit further. As we exhale, we're going to bend the left knee, cartwheel the hands around to frame the foot, lift the right heel, and we'll go ahead, drop the right knee. From here, we're just going to return to our downward facing dog. So taking the hands to the mat, we can step the left knee back to meet the right, curling the toes under, send the hips high. And we can stay here. If we'd like, we can flow through that vinyasa one more time. Inhaling, coming to our plank. Exhaling, lowering ourselves carefully all the way down to the mat. Inhaling, lifting the heart, peeling the chest up off the mat. Back side of the body is strong. Exhaling, we'll push up and back to downward facing dog. And all meeting here, we'll go ahead, inhale, come to those tippy toes. Soften the knees, look between the hands, and we'll gently step the feet forward. Feet meet the hands at the top of the mat. Let the head be heavy here. And just pause for a moment in this forward fold, knees soft. Next, inhale, hands to shins, half lift. And exhale, return to your fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, all the way, reach the fingertips high, palms touch, and we'll again draw them to our heart center. And we're going to move that whole sequence to the second side. So this time we're going to step back into warrior one with our left foot. So left foot steps back. The toes are just a little more forward than the heel. Feet are still hip width apart. Turn the shoulders to the front of the mat. Warrior one. Inhale, sweep the arms out and all the way up. So we're bending into our right knee, but not so much that we can't see our toes. We should still be able to see that big toe. So we're nice and open in the hips. Beautiful. Then we're going to go ahead and release the hands down to shoulder height. So arms right at shoulder height, palms face down. As we inhale, we'll extend the right leg, reach the fingertips nice and high. And exhale, bend the knee, drop the arms. Beautiful. Two more like that. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one here. Inhale, arms come up, and exhale, bending the knee. We'll go ahead next, inhale, lengthen the body, and then we'll go ahead and keeping the right leg extended, we could take our hands to our hips, and we're just going to begin to kind of fold forward here. So we're going to do this without rounding the back, which is why the hands on the hips is a nice placement. If we like, we could release our hands to our shins. Be careful just not to lock out this right knee. The leg is extended long, but the knee is just a bit soft. We could stay here, or we could take our hands to the mat. But again, we don't want to round that upper back and let the shoulders sink into the ears. So just come to the place that feels best to you. And we're going to breathe into that right hamstring. And again, we're going to kind of turn our attention, press through the pinky toe side of the left foot, and then draw the inner thighs toward each other. So we're hugging in. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. Then next inhale again, we're going to soften the right knee. And we're going to come back to Warrior One, reaching the fingertips up overhead. From here, we're going to move into our Warrior Two, lifting the left heel. And then we're going to turn our feet so now they're perpendicular. Allow the arms to come out to the side. So we feel really open here in the hips. Same thing, if we look at the right knee, we should be able to see the right big toe. And we're going to move through that peaceful warrior. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, but the left hand draws under the body. And then we're going to switch sides. Just moving with your breath, nice and gentle. Keeping the bend in the right knee to begin. So we're reversing. We're finding length in both side bodies. You look great. Nice job. So here we're moving in one plane, just side to side. Last one here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. We'll go ahead, return to Warrior Two. Just pause here and we're going to reverse that triangle. So as we inhale, right fingertips reach up toward the ceiling. We'll allow the left hand to gently rest on the left leg and turn the gaze up toward the right hand. Good. Big breath into the right side body. And it's that same idea of kind of hugging in with those inner thighs. The legs are strong and active. One more big breath. Inhale. And exhale. We'll bend the right knee, cartwheel the hands down and around, and lift the left heel. So coming back to our low lunge. From here, we'll go ahead and drop the left knee and bring the right knee back to meet the left. Just kind of pause here. So we're going to take the hands under the shoulders and just release that spine for a few cat-cow postures. So inhaling, lifting the heart, lifting the seat. And exhaling, rounding the back. Draw the belly toward the ceiling. And a few more like that, just with your breath. Adding in any additional movement that might feel good to you. And then we'll just return to that nice neutral position. From here, we're going to work into our hips a little bit more. So we're going to start by finding our downward facing dog, just stepping the hands a bit in front of the shoulders. Again, we're going to curl the toes and reach the hips high. Remember, if downward facing dog is not an option, we can always stay on our hands and knees, just stay in that table. Wherever we're at, as we inhale, we'll reach the right leg high to the sky, right leg lifts. And as we exhale, we're going to take the right foot to the outside of the right hand for our runner's lunge. If we'd like, we can drop the left knee. And we're just going to breathe here. Kind of hugging the knee in toward the shoulder. Nice job. Inviting that spine to be long. If we're feeling like we would like a little more of a stretch, we can bend the elbows. If we need to back off from it a little bit, we can take our hands to our thigh here. We're just going to take some time and invite this to release. One more full breath cycle. Inhale. And if we've bent the arms, we'll go ahead and extend them back long. From here, we're just going to step the right foot back to meet the left so we could come back to our table. And then again, send the hips nice and high. And we'll do that same thing second side. So as we inhale, lift the left leg lifts. And as we exhale, we'll take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Then again, our option here is to keep the right knee lifted, or we can go ahead and drop the left or the right knee. And we're just going to hug the left knee in toward the shoulder. And again, thinking about strengthen the abdominals, lengthen the spine, lengthen the breath. If we like, we can bend our elbows. Just taking the stretch where you need it to be today. And we're going to give our bodies time to release here using that breath. Nice job. And we're here for one more full breath cycle, inhaling and exhaling. And if we've bent those arms, we can go ahead and extend them nice and long. From here, we're going to return to that downward facing dog. So we're going to take if our right knee's down, we can come back through that table. And then again, send the hips nice and high. And if we like, we can kind of pedal out our feet here, if that feels good. And then we're going to move into our pigeon pose. So really nice counter stretch. As we inhale, we'll again lift that right leg. And exhale. This time we're going to bring our right knee to our right wrist. Cross the ankle with the heel so it's in front of the left hip. And just kind of relax here. So if we like, we can kind of walk our hands back toward our seat. Bring the shoulders more above the hips. And we're going to kind of squeeze our inner thighs in toward each other. So our hips here are pointing forward. We don't want to kind of open up and roll here. So this is all open. We'd like to keep those hips nice and square to the front of the mat. And we're just going to breathe here. Maybe walk the hands even a little bit closer to the seat. And as we exhale, we'll just gently release into the stretch a little bit deeper. Walk the hands out in front. So we could stay here. Maybe we want to just like in that runner's lunge, just bend our elbows a bit. We could come down to our forearms or even down to our hands, one stacked on top of the other. And we're just going to take time to invite this side of the hip to release here. Using that breath, relaxing in the shoulders. We're here one more full breath cycle. Inhale and exhale. And then, if we've lowered down at all, we'll return to our hands, extending those arms nice and long. And once again, we're going to curl the left toes under, and we're going to come back to downward facing dog. So we could come back through that table if we'd like. Again, curling the toes under, hips come high. This feels nice. We're going to go ahead and bend the left knee. Just press the right heel down into the mat a little bit more. And then releasing both heels down. This time we're going to work that left leg. So inhale, lift the left leg lifts. And exhale, we'll bring the left knee to the left wrist. Cross the mat with the right to the right hip. Good. And again, we're going to kind of adjust those hips so both hips point forward. If we like, we can walk our hands back toward the seat. We're going to kind of hug those inner thighs toward each other. So we're just hugging in. And as we exhale, we'll release into the stretch. Maybe walking our hands just a little bit out in front of us. Maybe coming down a little deeper. Again, just come to the place that feels best to you today. If we're going to stack our hands, we'll reverse so the opposite hand is on top, if you remember. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But we're going to breathe into the stretch. One more full breath cycle here. as we're ready, we'll gently come back to our hands. And we're going to come back through that table and into downward facing dog. Good job. Send the hips high. And from here, we're going to soften the knees. And this time, we're just going to walk the hands back toward the feet. And as we inhale, we're going to round our back, come all the way to standing. So we're going to kind of think about stacking one vertebra on top of the other, all the way up. Shoulders come back and down. We have this nice, proud, tall Tadasana, mountain pose. So our legs are active. We're feeling strong here. And we're just going to take a nice standing balance. So kind of first finding our center here. Finding both feet equally pressed into the mat pressing back into the feet. The ears are over the shoulders are over the hips. And we're going to gently shift our weight onto one foot. And we're going to start by bending the opposite knee. So we're just going to lift the heel up toward the seat. And we can stay here. If we can, we're going to grasp the top of the foot with the hand, kind of coming into a nice quadricep stretch. So we're going to keep the abs engaged and that standing leg active, but the knee soft. And we can stay here. If we'd like, we can move into kind of a modified dancer, just kicking the foot into the hand and extending the opposite hand long. Nice job. So it's a really nice stretch for our quadriceps. We're going to open up through the chest, through the back. Maybe reaching that foot even higher. One more big breath. Inhale. And exhale. Gently release. We're going to release that right foot down, or whichever foot. Shake it out. Relax the shoulders. Okay. Nice job. Come back to your breath. To that place where we're evenly weighted on both feet. We're strong and active through our body, but relaxed in the shoulders. And we're going to just gently shift our weight to our opposite foot. Again, bending the knee. And we can stay here, or we're going to reach our hand for the top of that foot. Whew, got a cramp in my hamstring. Okay. So we can stay here, just enjoying this nice stretch in the quadricep. To intensify that, we're just going to kind of press the hips forward. Or we're going to move into our dancer pose. So extending the opposite hand in front, we're going to kick the foot into the hand into the foot, and gently begin to find that nice counterbalance, just leaning forward as we kick the opposite foot back behind us. Nice job. One more big breath here. Inhale and exhale. We'll gently release. Coming back out of it. Release the foot down. Shake it out. Lovely job. Relax those shoulders. And we're going to go ahead and transition back down onto the mat now. So through one more vinyasa if you'd like. We'll come back to the back of the mat. Inhale. Sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, soften the knees, release to our forward fold. From here, we're just going to walk ourselves out to our downward facing dog. Last downward facing dog of our practice today. Inhale, we'll come back into our plank or kneeling plank. And gently lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. Inhale, last cobra pose. Find the strength in the whole body here. Draw the elbows close together. And exhale, we'll push up and back through our table into a nice seated position. Great job. And from here, we're going to go ahead and just find a nice seated tree posture. So we're going to extend, kind of coming to a nice wide-legged seated position. And then we're going to bend our right knee, bring the heel either to the inner thigh or below the knee. going to sit up really tall. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. We're going to turn our belly button to the left. And we're just going to reach our hands forward and release them down to the leg wherever they will fall. Nice job. Let the head and neck relax here and the face soften. So we're going to press the foot into the leg into the foot. Just get a nice stretch all through the right side body, down into the hip. We're here one more full breath cycle. And then our next inhale, we'll just come back to that nice seated position. And we're going to switch sides. So extending the right leg long, we'll bring the left foot to the inside of the left thigh. Again, sitting up really tall. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Turning toward the knee, we're just going to release, lengthen, and then release the arms down. So we're going to find that length first. Beautiful. And just breathe into the stretch. Again, kind of soften the shoulders, relax the face. And as we inhale, we'll just gently walk the hands back toward the seat, turn ourselves to face forward, and we'll go ahead and bring our feet to the mat in front of us. And coming all the way down onto our back, we're just going to lower down nice and slow using that core control. Kind of rolling over the tailbone and then lowering down one vertebra at a time. At last, we can relax the shoulders and the back of the head onto the mat. And we'll take our feet out nice and wide here. Hip width apart, or actually wider. So if we look up, we should be able to see our heels on either side of our hips. We can extend the arms out to the sides, and we're just going to gently windshield wiper our knees side to side. So allowing them to release to the right. As we inhale, we'll draw them up to the center and then gently allow them to release to the left. So our hips are going to move here. We're going to get a little bit of movement in that lumbar spine, but we're going to keep the ribs and the shoulders connected to the mat. So nice little last bit of release for our low back and our hips. And we are preparing for our Shavasana. So if there's any remaining posture you'd like to find, please take time for that. Kind of check in with your body and think of anywhere you might need a little extra release. And if you'd like to continue on with your yoga practice, feel free to do that. And I will lead us in through a Shavasana. But if you'd like and you want to just remain there for a little bit longer, feel free to do that as well. So you could just kind of turn off the volume or turn it down. A lot of times, the Shavasana is the most challenging of all the yoga postures because we're just asking ourselves to be still. Mentally and physically. And we live in a world where that's really a challenge. Even now in quarantine. So as we're ready, we're going to just draw the knees up toward the ceiling and then gather our legs in, drawing the knees in toward the chest. Maybe rocking side to side a little bit to release that spine. And we can, if we're ready, we're going to gently kind of draw ourselves into a tight little ball. So feeling really tight, we're going to activate every muscle. Super strong here. Just curl in. Take a huge breath. Hold it just for a moment. And as you exhale, just let it all go. Come into a place where you can completely relax and surrender. We can allow our eyes to be heavy and closed. Allow the muscles in the face to soften and relax your jaw. Invite every muscle here to completely relax. Finding stillness in the mind and the body. And again, you're welcome to stay here as long as you wish. But if you're ready, when you're ready, just begin to bring your awareness back to that breath. As you exhale, release all the remaining tension in your spirit. And inhale, draw in whatever it is you need in this moment. Joy or hope or peace. And we can again turn our awareness back to our body. Maybe at first just to the way the breath is moving here, the belly lifting, the rib cage is expanding, and everything softening and releasing. Then maybe to the sensations in our fingers and toes, just find that little bit of movement. As you're ready, feel free to make it a little bit bigger. Maybe rotate through the wrists and ankles and gently rock the head side to side. And even bigger yet, maybe stretching the whole body long, reaching the fingertips away from the toes. Relax here just for a moment. And we can bend the left knee and use the left foot to gently roll ourselves onto our right side. Use a bicep for a pillow and allow the eyes to open. Coming back into your space. And then we can gently press ourselves back up to a comfortable seated position. And smile. Lovely practice today. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me. I hope your hips feel some release. Find that we tend to hold a lot of tension there. And my thought today is just about being still. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Be still and know that I am God." So I want you just to kind of embrace this time that we have to slow down and recognize all those little blessings. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. God bless you. Have a great day.